Grab your popcorn. Let's kick off this wild legal ride. Mark thought he should hire a lawyer to protect himself and his family, so he rushed into the first law firm. Oh, this one only handles disability cases. The second one was colder than an icebox. And don't even get me started. And Mark, troubled by his parents' divorce, disliked lawyers. Ricky's kind inquiry made Mark open up. Subtitle: He's the boy who found the body in the paper. 10 minutes later, prosecutor Roy came to talk. Ricky learned from Mark that Roy had never lost a case, and Ricky immediately figured out Mark had pulled a fast one on the cops. The newspaper said Mark found Jerome's body, but dead people don't sweat, so Ricky began to raise an eyebrow. The lady lawyer brought up her expertise, and Mark shared some details, saying he saw a car come and Jerome get. Then Jerome pulled a gun and shot himself. Talk about hitting rock bottom. Subtitles: How much? Mark took out $1, tossed it disdainfully on Ricky's desk. Dagger came to see his uncle, having heard that just before Jerome kicked the bucket, he chatted with a kid. So he told his nephew to move the body pronto. Subtitles: Cops warned the body. Mark met the prosecutor at a detective show extravaganza. Facing a bunch of crafty dudes, they warned, if you don't answer our questions, we might just take a trip to the bathroom. Wait, what if something happens to my mom? Mark fretted. Have you heard of the legal directive? In this country, knowing about a crime and not reporting it can get you into serious. If you want a lawyer on my watch, that's just comedy gold. We all know they're just bluffing. You don't need a lawyer at all. And I just got to ask, saying you don't need a lawyer means you're not one either, right? Ricky shows evidence. Mark's prints covered Jerome's car. What trick is this? What were they discussing? Life, love? Mark just wanted to use the bathroom, but they acted like he was their little lab rat. They thought the kid was about to crack, but then Ricky burst in claiming he was Mark's lawyer. While Mark's mom was out, they rushed to interrogate, totally crossing the line. But none of these big shots would fess up. Then Ricky whipped out a recording, leaving them dumbfounded. They just spelled out a whole load of lies. If Ricky let that go, boy, they'd be in hot water. Ricky met the boy's mom, looking super young. She was barely 18 when she had Mark. Man, him just a silly kid. All she dreamed of was sauntering by the White House. What a simple wish. So she got married. The brother pretended to be a guitar hero, all to inspire his little bro. At just 11, he was already strutting like a champ. Those pesky reporters were snapping photos, but Mark kicked them out to defend his dignity. To clean up Dagger's mess, his uncle sent his minions to Memphis to hire a detective, but this ain't all. They had to tread carefully, with a meeting with the prosecutor tomorrow, yet Mark remained tight-lipped with Ricky. He kept insisting he had never been in the car. After Ricky left, the detective conversed with the boy, playing the sad card. Saying his son got into a traffic accident, the two family members started chatting, leaving Mark in a world of hurt. The man pretended to recognize the kid and started playing Mark, but Mark wasn't falling for it. He saw the man's tattoo but didn't say a word and just headed back to the hospital. Smart move. In the dead of night, Mark's stomach was growling, so he snuck into the elevator, only to encounter a knife-wielding dude. Talk about a close call. The guy warned Mark to stay quiet, and he felt a bit relieved when the nurse finally left. Mark found Ricky, but refused to tell him the truth. He couldn't even meet the federal agents. What a pickle. Roy and the crew were outside, trying to get him to leave. Come on, you got to know what's going on. Roy accused, saying the car had many fingerprints matching Mark's. Ricky questioned how agents obtained them. The agent mentioned it was from Mark's drink at the hospital. Did Mark or his mom approve? This invades Mark's privacy. The blood on Jerome's ring. It's Mark's. In short, Ricky thought they violated civil rights and aimed to protect Mark's interests, while the prosecutor just wanted to crack the case and have Mark testify. Roy landed a blow on Ricky by mentioning he had been hospitalized for drugs and alcohol. Total knockout punch. Ricky immediately turned to leave. That was a score he didn't want to touch. Mark was stunned and decided to fire Ricky. Mark rushed back to the hospital with Ricky hot on his heels, but the hospital door was already swarmed by reporters. Mark had to get in the car and leave with Ricky. The prosecutor got a headache. Trouble loomed. They worried the mob might track down Mark first. They requested the court for surveillance on him. Subtitles: Ricky returned to his home which was situated far away from the downtown area, while Mark intended to go back to the hospital, but ended up going alone. The seconds and minutes ticked away one after another, and at last the car arrived. However, when Mark caught sight of who was inside, oh wow, it was that nurse. He swiftly turned his back. They chatted. Ricky thought Mark had no reason to hide, while deep down, Mark absolutely detested those who drank like fish.